Welcome back to another episode of the Katrina Johnson Show. As usual, I am so grateful to have you with me. Be sure to share the podcast, subscribe, and leave a review or comments. Also, you can always follow me online at katrinajohnson.online or on Instagram at KatrinaJ7777. Let's get into the show. Welcome to another episode of the Katrina Johnson Show. Happy to have you with me today. This season 5, episode 1, we are discussing commitment. So I have a question for you. Are you committed? And no, I am not speaking of relationships, even though when we hear the word commitment, that's probably the first thing that comes to mind, right? I may not know you, but this is what I do know about you. You are committed. The reason why I say that is that we are always committed to something. However, we may not always be aware of this. Listen to this quote from the book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. Commitment is a statement of what is. From our perspective, you can know your commitments by your results, not by what you say your commitments are. We are all committed. Conscious leaders own their commitments by owning their results. So in other words, you can see your commitment through your results. Example, just look at your career, possessions, relationships, finances, health, work ethics, you name it. These things reveal your commitment. It's like the old saying goes, the proof is in the pudding. So it's not what we say that we're committed to that holds value, but it is the result that will prove our commitment. Do you remember the movie Forrest Gump? Great movie, right? That movie, there were many famous quotes, I'd say. But this one, I think, was probably one of the more popular ones. And that was, stupid is what stupid does. Well, commitment is let me repeat that, I said it wrong. Stupid is as stupid does. And commitment is as commitment does. It is our actions, what we do, that bring us the results. Think about your results and you'll see what you are committed to. So after looking at your results, are you satisfied with your commitments that created those results? If not, then you need to be intentional about your commitments. So you may be asking, how do I become intentional about my commitments? The answer is by alleviating the unessential that is fogging up your path to your commitments. Now we know this is still at the top of the year of 2021, and we know most people set their goals for the whole year, or some, maybe month by month or by quarter. Nevertheless, goals are being set usually at the first of the year, and statistics shows that people do not stick to their commitments and their goals. And somewhere during the first month of January, people tend to lose their traction with their goals. So that could be happening because they're allowing distractions. It could be happening because maybe they set some unrealistic goals, right? But whatever the case is, when you set a goal, that is a commitment, and it's a commitment to yourself. So as I said early on, commitment has to do with a lot of different factors, not just relationships. And I believe that if we get the commitments right to ourselves, if we commit to ourselves to make a commitment to our commitments, then we will be a step ahead in reaching our goals and our full potentials. So what we you need to do is get rid of anything or anyone that is a threat to your commitment. You want to stay on that clear pathway to your goals. One example is, let's say you just broke up with a significant other, and you know in your heart of heart that that relationship wasn't going anywhere and that it was time to end it. And you felt at peace about it when you ended that relationship. And so you start getting your life together. You start moving forward with achieving your goals and just concentrating on you and self-love and caring, for yourself. And you've got other projects going on. Your focus is really, really keen at this time, and you are laser focused in getting things taken care of. But then this ex comes along and they're like, hey, I've been thinking maybe we can do this again. Maybe we can just make some changes and make this thing work. Now again, in your heart of hearts, you already know that relationship was severed, it ended, it's over. So if you are really truly committed to your new path, you're gonna say, no, thank you. I am on a clear path and I want to continue with this clear path. Because see, what would happen is you will, I'll say, you'll just kind of waver and you'll get back into that relationship. And guess what happens? You have broken your commitment to yourself. You have broken that clear path to where you were going. So that's just one example. And yes, I did use a relationship example, but I think it's a good example of how we can stay on our clear path. So it may mean that you have too many things going on at one time. A lot of times people are juggling different things. They're multitasking, and I'm not a big multitasker myself. I don't think that it works very well. I've done it, and at times it may work, but for the most part, I believe that when you focus on one thing at a time, you are more successful with completing projects. You're more focused, and when you're focused and you're zeroed in, laser focused on something, it just seems to, things just seems to get accomplished better. And I think people that do multitasking, when that became such a big thing, I think that everybody just looked at it like, wow, if I multitask, that means I'm a superhero. I can do this, I can do that. And of course, we only have 24 hours in a day. And we know that we wish we had more. I'm one of those. So if you're like me, I wish I had more hours within a day. But being that we have the 24 hours within the day, we need to learn to use those 24 hours productively and be wise with our time. And if we are, and like I said, being laser focused on working one thing at a time, we'll find that we're much more accomplished than doing a bunch of different things that at the end of the day, when you're multitasking, sometimes you've hit on several things, but then what's accomplished, right? So I want to say that trying to complete too many goals at the same time is like being the jack of all trades and the master of none. Focus on achieving the most important thing at the moment, and then you will fulfill your commitment. Trying to complete a bunch of projects simultaneously will lead you to burnout and frustration, with the end result being unfulfilled commitments. And the potential threats that come your way to take you off track of your path and throw your commitments off. There are potential threats, and you need to be aware of those. So they come by way of people. They come by our own thoughts. What's going on in our mind, which is usually a lie, right? Doubts and fear. Well, keeping cognitive of these things, knowing the potential threats and how they come, will help us in the long run. So I'm going to give you those threats. You need to know what the potential threats are. And you might want to write this down. Manipulation, doubt, stress, distractions, interruptions, and And there's probably a lot more. And I don't know if I said doubt, but doubt. So I will repeat these again. So these are the potential threats to your fulfilling your commitments and staying on your clear path. And these threats are manipulation, doubt, stress, distractions, and interruptions. If you take just one thing away from what I've been talking with you about, let it be that you learn to stand in your power to say no to the threats so that you can stay on your good, clear path to your commitments. Thank you for joining me today. It was a short one, but I think it was pretty meaty, if I can say that. It was pretty full of some good nuggets there. So hopefully you got something out of that today. And as always, stay inspired. Let's keep the conversation going by emailing me at katrina@katrinajohnson.online. That's katrina@katrinajohnson.online. So grateful that you joined me on this episode. Remember, information plus inspiration equals transformation. And until next time, stay inspired.